Want help to grow your business? Download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.
Welcome to another episode of Inspired. I'm your host, Alexandra André, and today I'm going to share with you how to realise the true potential of your business. This word potential is one we hear often. The Oxford Dictionary defines the word potential as having or showing the capacity to develop into something in the future. And given you're watching this right now, I would suggest you have a vested interest in your own potential and learning in some way, which is brilliant. And you're certainly in the right spot when it comes to spending time on BRiN, that's for sure. But today, I want to take this word potential to another level. Give it a depth and dimension that you might never have considered before. Today, I'm going to talk to you about what I refer to as true potential. And to help me, I've got this little bell. Now, my theme word for this year is magic, believing in and bringing a little bit of magic to all I do. And whilst I'm not actually a magician, my intention by the end of this segment is to have you thinking differently about this little bell. Right now, you're probably thinking, what's with the bell? It's just a product a business sells. Maybe you're noticing that it's red and white, wondering what kind of sound it makes and even how much it costs. And that's probably about it, which would be perfectly normal. A few years ago, I would have thought exactly the same thing. I wouldn't have looked twice at a little bell like this. But I think about this little bell, this product a business sells, very differently now. And I'm going to share with you why. It starts with a seed that was planted for me, as most ideas, good or bad, often are. Often without us even knowing. Sometimes a throwaway comment made by a friend. My seed was something called an Ironman, a big one-day endurance event, one widely considered the toughest one-day sporting event in the world. Now, this was something that less than 0.02% of the population had ever taken on. And there's a good reason for that. It was a 3.8k swim, followed by a big bike ride, 180k's on the bike, followed by a marathon, 42k's of running, all in the one day. They weigh you beforehand so they know how much fluid to put back in you should you end up in a bad way. And people have been known to crawl across the finishing line. It can be that gruelling. Now, I had done a marathon before, but then spent the next 5 years injuring myself trying to do another one. At the time, I couldn't run more than 12 kilometres. So this Ironman was going to be a massive stretch for me. It really wasn't something as even part of my stratosphere. But those friends, they'd planted a seed for me. And that seed grew big time when a really good friend of mine, Mads, a young, fit Danish guy, had been diagnosed with something called myeloma, a rare form of blood cancer. There was no cure, but there were lots of treatment options. He was going to be fine, he had to be. But it just made me realise how short and precious life is, how we just have to do stuff while we can. That perspective truly is such a gift if we accept it. So I decided I'd sign up. I'd give one of these crazy Ironman things a shot if I could get in. It was the Melbourne Ironman. Usually entries sold out really quickly, so I'd have to be onto it. I remember that day entries opened. I was at work and I told the colleagues around me I was not to be interrupted. I was working on something really important. I had 2 computer screens up, and when the gates opened, I started madly filling in all my entry details. I was a bundle of nerves. I was nearly there, just credit card details to go, popped them in, got them wrong, had to put them in again, hit submit, and then I waited for what felt like eternity. And then bang, I was in. My entry had been confirmed. The adrenaline flowing through me in that moment, I can still feel it now. I just signed up to something that was not once part of my stratosphere, this massive, massive Ironman. It was like I'd placed a mountain of a goal in front of me. You know those ones that you actually have no idea how you're going to get there, not an ounce of confidence. But for some reason, you said yes and you signed up anyway. This would be a massive stretch for me. But you know what I realised?
To continue enjoying this presentation, download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.